flowchart is a graphical representation of sequence of steps to solve a problem. Each step in the sequence is represented by different symbols, and it contains a short description of the process step. This allows anyone to view the flowchart and logically follow the process from beginning to end. Flowcharts are useful in writing a program or algorithm and explaining it to others or collaborating with them on it. Flowchart can be used to spell out the logic behind a program before ever starting to code the automated process. It can help to organize big picture thinking and provide a guide when it comes time to code. Since flowcharts can be considered as the blueprint of an algorithm, flowcharts can be used to represent algorithms as a planning tool that helps to organize the steps of process of a program in a visually explicit manner. You can use a flowchart to spell out the logic behind a program before ever starting to code the automated process. Here is an example of using flowchart to represent algorithm. The following is a basic overview with descriptions and meanings of the most common flowchart symbols. The table shows the flowchart symbol drawing, the name of the flowchart, and a short description of where and how the flowchart symbol is used. First symbol is called the terminator. It is represented by an oval shape. This symbol represents the start points, end points, and potential outcomes of a path, often contains start or end within the shape. The second symbol is the process. It is represented by a rectangle shape. It is also known as an action symbol. This shape represents a process, action, or function. It's the most widely used symbol in flowcharting. Third symbol is called the data. It is represented by a parallelogram shape. This shape represents data that is available for input or output, as well as representing resources used or generated.
Fourth symbol, decision, represented by a diamond shape, indicates a question to be answered. Usually, nasasagot siya if yes or no or true or false. Fifth symbol, the connector, represented by a circle shape, usually used within more complex charts. This symbol connects separate elements across one page. Sixth symbol, the document, represented the input or output of a document specifically. Seventh symbol is the flow, represented by a line. It represents the flow of the sequence and direction of the process. How are flowcharts used in programming? Flowcharts can help to organize big picture thinking and provide a guide when it comes to time code. More specifically, flowcharts can be used in programming in a number of ways, such as: number 1, demonstrate the way code is organized. 2, visualize the execution of code within a program. 3, show the structure of a website or application. 4, understand how users navigate a website or program. Kadalasan ang ginagamit na words or language ng mga programmers ay pseudocode. Ito yung ginagamit nila ang paraan ng pagsusulat kasi mas informative at mas madaling maintindihan ng mga users yung language na gagamitin para maintindihan kung paano gagana yung program. Understanding the function of different flowcharts and when to use them is important, but so is how you design your flowchart. Kailangan balance lang yung design and information within the flowchart para the users will be pushed to read that flowchart and be able to understand what's going on or what's the step-by-step procedure happening in that flowchart. Here are the important points to be considered when making a flowchart.
First is about style and design. Direction is important. For the most part, charts should flow left to right or top-bottom. Eyes follow this path naturally, making it easier for people looking at the flowchart to understand them. Keep them on one page when possible. Charts are easier to digest when they are simple and kept to one page. The more pages there are, the more complex the chart seems. To be fair, there might be times when you need more than one page, and this is when you're dealing with complex processes and you have to be well documented. They can be summarized because key information might be lost. Use consistent sizing and spacing because uniform design makes them easier to read and follow. Include a chart key. There are standard symbols that most flowcharts use. Because these symbols are standardized, they make it easier to understand the flowchart. Also include the key so that it's clear to people reading it what you're saying. Use no more than 3 colors. It's tempting to want to use as many colors as possible to show a path or highlight certain information. But the truth is, the few colors you see, the easier it is to follow the flow of the chart. Next is about text and content. Stick to one font to make flowcharts easy to follow. Also, make sure that the fonts are easy to read and large enough. Fewer words, the better. Because documentation is important, don't get rid of it completely. Instead, use your flowcharts to emphasize the important parts and use the documentation as backup with more details. Readability is important on charts, so less words you see there, the better. Last is about access and communication. Know your audience and how to speak to them. Some flowcharts have to be more technical than others, but make sure that the people reviewing them understand them. When possible, make your charts as straightforward as possible. Share flowcharts with the right teams. Any teams that are affected by the information in the flowchart need to know where to find it. Set up a documentation process that ensures that the right people see the charts. This can be specific teams or the entire company. Keep in mind, if the entire company has access, it makes sense to offer high-level details on what's included so that everyone viewing the charts understand them.
You can make your flowcharts easier to understand and less subject to errors by using only a fixed set of structures. These structures include sequence, decision, loop, and case. First structure is called sequence. The flowchart demonstrates a sequence of steps. The reader would start at the start shape and follow the arrows from one rectangle to the other, finishing at the end shape. A sequence is the simplest flowcharting construction. You do each step in order. If your charts are all sequences, then you probably don't need to draw a flowchart. You can type a simple list using your word processor. The power of a flowchart becomes evident when you include decisions and loops. Second structure is called decision. If then, else, or a conditional, a question is asked in the decision shape. Depending on the answer, the control follows either of two paths. In the flowchart, if the temperature is going to be less than freezing, or which is 32 degrees Fahrenheit, the tomatoes should be covered. Third structure is called loop. This structure allows you to repeat a task over and over. The red chart above on left does the task and repeat doing the task until the condition is false. It always does the task at least once. The green chart on the right checks the condition first and continues the task while the condition is true. In the green chart, the task may not be done at all. You can also have the conditions reversed and your loop is still a structure design loop. Fourth structure is called structure or selection structure. The decision works fine if you only have two outputs. But if there are several, then using multiple decisions makes the chart too busy. Since the case structure can be constructed using the decision structure, it is redundant, but useful. The case structure helps make a flowchart more readable and saves space on the paper. So that's all for today. Hope you all learned something. See you in the next video and goodbye.